with us throughout the series. Perhaps our next guest will as well. Pardon me. All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. He had the call the last time the Kings won a playoff game. The great Jim Kozimor. How are you, Koz?
Oh, guys, how's it going today? Thanks for having me on. I gotta be honest. I'm a little nervous to be on with you guys today.
Yeah, it's a nervous time of year, Koz, with the Warriors and the Kings, right? I mean, we've never seen anything like it. What was your first reaction when you found out it was official? We're going to have the Kings against the Warriors.
First of all, I'm going to answer that. But let me check a couple of boxes. First, I'm enjoying the heck out of you two today. This has been a great way to start playoff week for me. So I'm really a fan, and I'm enjoying it. You guys are really fun to listen to, so thanks. Also, first favorite basketball player, Norm Van Leer. Pistol.
You have been listening.
This is my guy, but Norm Van Leer was my first from those 74 Bulls. Isn't it great to be a Kings fan and not here today do the NBA lottery simulator?
Yes, so great.
We'd be doing the tankathon right now, right? You'd be calling me saying, who would you take in the third pick? That's what we're used to for 16 years.
I haven't been on tankathon in months.
Good. I'm glad, and I hope. I don't think it's going to be happening for a couple of years.
Right.
You guys are going to have a good little long run. Also, father-son duos. I'm gonna give you Danny Ferry, Bob Ferry, and I'll raise you Danny Shays, Dolph Shays. How about that as a father-son combo?
Yeah, I got Matt Kukas Jr. and Sr., but I think you got me beat.
Those are good ones, man. Those are solid. I really like them. So.
Yeah.
All right, you asked a question about finding out about
yes.
But I just wanted to prove I've been listening all day. It's not like I picked it up like 5 minutes ago. I've been listening all day. I'm excited.
Appreciate it.
It's playoff week, and we haven't had that for 16 seasons.
Oh, my goodness.
I actually was praying for this. I went to Mass on Sunday saying, don't move the Warriors into the 5. Don't move them up at all. In order to be the champ, you have to beat the champ. I wanted this as Northern Californian supremacy. We've never had it. We've always had the Warriors drubbing the Kings and then the Kings drubbing the Warriors. I remember talking to Doug Christie about it, how we used to take 11 busloads of Kings fans to Golden State because no one would watch the Warriors. And it was like Arco Arena West, for crying out loud. But now to have both teams seemingly relevant at the same time, the basketball gods are smiling on Northern California.
Yeah, Koz, can you just speak a little bit more to how special this is for both fan bases, really, to be meeting in this potentially historic series?
Yeah, the thing, Chris, that I think is going to be in the Kings' favor is that for Kings fans, and many of you don't know what you're about to experience. For instance, my twins, Ava and Sasha, are 17 years old. They've never seen the Kings in the playoffs.
They have no clue.
Exactly. They don't know what that's like. But Whitey, there is an element of Kings fan who understands what Saint was talking about when he was on with you guys. The standing ovation when Mitch comes out onto the floor that last 20 minutes. And the time when Vlade and Chris and Jay Will and that crew leads the team against the Utah Jazz in the 98-99 strike shortened year, lockout shortened, however you want to term it.
Sure.
Those are special times. And you're about to experience that. And if I can implore Kings fans on this, you have a chance to make this special. Be a part of the activity. You can sway games and momentum. So use that power that you have in your hands. And the reason I say that is because for the Warriors, you know why it's more expensive to go to a game in Sacramento in this series than it is in Golden State? Golden State fans don't start paying attention until it's near the conference final. You've got them hoodwinked right now. So use your power. And that's how special, Chris, I think it is. These fans are going to experience something they can't fathom yet. They won't know until they know. And I do think Saint is right. This is the only series to watch in the first round of the NBA playoffs.
Koz, can you share with us, if you remember, I know that you do, you've done a lot of games and you did a great job with the Mountain Lions and the great, Culpepper touchdown passes. I'm sure it all runs together, but do you have specific memories of that Kevin Martin coast to coast, that shot that won the last playoff win for the Kings at the old Arco Arena?
If I'm not mistaken, Whitey, it was probably an award-winning call, maybe my best game that I've ever called in the history of my long broadcast career. It was a lot of fun. It was one of those moments where I remember being up out of my seat. I remember being part of that cacophony of Kings fans and you don't want to fight the Kings fan, the roar of 17,317. You don't want to fight it. You want to punctuate it and let the orchestra play.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just remember the play unfolding, and somehow Kevin Martin gets the ball and is able to go end to end. And there's that great picture of him going to the hoop, scooping the shot up, and then the call comes, and then I get out. I just remember the electricity, because it might be the last time we've had that level of electricity. You guys have had great moments this year. You guys have really great moments this year.
Yeah.
But I cannot implore upon you enough. You still don't know what those moments can raise to once you get into the playoffs. So Whitey, I think that's what stands out to me. The electricity. It might have been the last time, Arco, with a basketball reason. We remember when we closed it down and there was an energy there. But the basketball energy that was created, what might have been the last great basketball moment of that facility.
Right. Coz, yeah, you talk about the aftermath of that game. Do you remember feeling like after that game, like there was a sense of, obviously nobody saw a 16-year playoff drought coming, but did you feel like there was a shift about to happen with this team?
You did sense, Chris, that an era had ended, right? You
right.
realized that those pieces who were there for you for years, who gave you the greatest basketball sports experience for many in the 916 and beyond of their entire lives, it had started to move away. Remember, Doug Christie was traded to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Webb gets traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. It slowly starts to fall apart. And you did sense that a change was happening. As much as you wanted to remain relevant, you knew that your best days were behind you. And that is a tough moment. But let's not stay maudlin. You guys now are at the front end of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just as that experience was there, Chris, that experience in the 98-99 season and the loss to the Utah Jazz in 5 games when Vlade missed the rolling hook through the lane, that would have knocked out the Jazz. Mm-hmm. It started something, and you sense the start. Let's hope you guys sense the start of something special with this series against the defending champs.
That, of course, is a great Jim Kozimor. Coz, taking a broader view of this year, and I know this is, we got a lot of pizza left in the box, hopefully, but it is a good time to reflect. One of the most impressive things to me is that as a franchise, I think the Kings this year have gotten rid of that dark cloud that was left over from the 2018 draft when, they could have Luka, they didn't take him. You take Bagley. Oh my goodness. And that was hanging over the franchise for many years, and that left a mark. And right now it feels like with what's going on with Luka and the way the Kings are playing, it looks like that has gone away. Would you agree with that? I know you were here during all that. Would you agree with that assessment?
When I was still working those games at the new building, there was that one fan who has a Kings jersey with Doncic on the back with the numbers, right, with his number on the back, right?
Yeah.
I believe that's what he has.
Yeah.
And so, that was a real painful pill. And it was tough because when Luka would come to town, there were fans who wanted to pay to see him. And Bagley had an unfortunate time in Sacramento. So, yes, I do think some of that cloud is lifting. It really lifts if you win a series, if you're able to extend your season somewhat. But I do think that this team has turned the page. A lot of that also has to do with the fact that they've changed in the front office, right?
Yeah.
There's a new philosophy.
Right.
Even if this happened under Vlade Divac and Peja Stojakovic, people still might say, well, why didn't you take the European guys since you guys are European experts? But you know what? You've got a new infrastructure in place making decisions you hope on their own. Clearly, it seems to be working. And so, I think you're right. But let's lift that entire cloud and do it by knocking off a great Warriors team, because I think that'll speak loudly to the Sacramento fan base.
Yeah, Coz, we were talking yesterday, me and Whitey, about, just the potential for this series and what this could potentially, how big this rivalry could potentially get. Do you think that there's potential that this Kings Warriors can kind of be like a new age of the Kings Lakers animosity, or, maybe even some of, I wasn't around for it, but the A's Giants World Series kind of, is there some parallel there?
I should have brought my A's Giants split cap, Whitey.
No, those are so bad.
Split cap. I have it in the next room over, and I almost had it because I grabbed my Kings jersey is what I grabbed here, guys.
Not a fan of that. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. That's incredible.
I know, huh? So, but to get into that, Chris, I would tell you this: enjoy the Kings Warriors rivalry for 1 year, because I do believe the trajectory of the Kings is going up. And I do believe that we are starting to see, like we saw the end of the Kings run, we're starting to see the Warriors run not sputter out, because it's been tremendous. You win 4 championships. You can't, I'm not ripping the Warriors. I'm just saying Father Time is undefeated. You can take him to overtime, but he always wins in the end. And so I think we enjoy this rivalry, especially in this playoff series. Enjoy it next year, because the year after, it's going to be the Kings who own Northern California.
Coz, do you still have a few moments you could share with us? I know you have a lot going on here. We'd like to talk to you a little.
Nothing going on. I am retired. I have nothing going on in my life. I've listened to you guys since noon, and 10 your time, noon my time, or whatever it is. I don't even know what time it is.
Yeah.
So, I've got all the time in the world, Whitey.
If you heard the whole show, and maybe you missed here or there, then you heard me tell the Julius Erving pool party story to Chris, and I'm wondering if I was
because I heard you talking about Dr. J earlier, and I had that on my notes. So I want to bring that up.
Yeah. Can you explain for those who didn't hear, and to make sure Chris gets it right, how is it that you turned down an invitation to go to Julius Erving's house?
Yeah, I'm still wondering that myself, Whitey. So I'm the voice of the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm calling games. And then in the offseason, I'm there, and I don't have much to do. And so I used to play basketball with the St. Joe's women's team. And Steve Mix, who was a former NBA All-Star for the 76ers, great guy. And we'd all play together. And so we're playing, and it's like a Wednesday. And I don't know what I'm thinking, but we're playing, and Mix goes, "Hey, guys, Doc wants us to go swimming at his house this afternoon." And I'm thinking, oh, all right. And then I'm playing. I finish playing. He goes, "All right, let's go to Doc's." And I go, "You know what, Steve? I'll take a rain check. I got some things I got to do today." And he looks at me, and everyone's like, "All right, let's go. What's the address? Where are we going to go?" And so I leave. I get in my car, and I'm driving to pick up dry cleaning. And it's not like I had anything immense that I had going on. And I'm halfway to the dry cleaning, and I go, "You just turned down an invitation." It sunk in. And it's not like you had cell phones or you had a that could give you a direction. It's not like I can say, "Hey, Steve, I'm changing my mind. Can I come to you?" I'll go over. It was over. I had made my decision. I'm driving down the Schuylkill, and I can't get to Julius Erving's house. And so that is my story. I could be having, hey, Turquoise, can I have a little more lemonade here? I could have been having that whole conversation with his ex-wife. It would have been a beautiful time at Dr. James'
pool party.
house.
Yeah, a pool party
at Julius Erving's house, and I said no. So one of my famous moments. Can I give you the other famous moment I had?
Yes,
Please.
yes.
Real quick. So I'm doing A's pre and post for NBC Sports in the Bay Area. Dave Stewart, dear friend, lovely man. We're doing a show together, and we finished the show, and he goes, "Hey, where are you going to watch the game?" And I said, "I'm press box or walk around." He goes, "Hey, Ricky wants me to come to his box. You want to come to Ricky's box?" And I look at him, and I think, Ricky Henderson doesn't want me hanging, skulking around his box. So I go, "Dave, I'll take a rain check." I go, "I'll take a rain check. I'll do it next time." So I don't go, and he goes up. He goes, "You should have gone. It was loaded with food. Everything was great. We had everything in the world." The next day, I'm like, "I'm going to Ricky's box. I am going to Ricky's box. I'm doing it." Dave and I do the show. I said, "Hey, you going to go up to Ricky's box?" He goes, yeah. He gave me the box. He said, "He's not coming to the game today, but you can sit up in his box all you want." So I did sit in Ricky's box. Ricky wasn't there. I got invited to sit with Ricky, and I rejected that. So,
so the sports gods gave you a mulligan. There's like, I know, we're going to give him another shot. He's a good kid. And then swing and a miss. I told Jerry Reynolds a couple of weeks ago, I told Jerry the Dr. J story, and he looked at me, and I kid you not, for like 5 minutes, and he put his head down, and that was all. Yeah. That was his only reaction. That was it.
Right? There's nothing else you can say about that. There's nothing. Yeah. I cannot redeem myself in any way, shape, or form from those two stories. I'm not sure. Maybe Barack Obama's going to invite me to the opening of his place in Chicago, but I'm sure I'm going to be too busy to go.
Yeah, probably. So that's probably. Yeah. As far as the breakdown of this series goes, and Coz is a play-by-play guy, but he's got a keen basketball mind. He's a good shooter too when he plays basketball. Don't you think that one of the keys for the Kings will be employing what I call the Fox and One defense? I'm not sure what it is, but I think it could be very effective in slowing down Steph Curry.
I love it. The only problem I have with the Fox and One is Why would you tell them to make the T-shirts? You should be bandwagoning, making the T-shirts, standing out front, just ambush selling those things, standing on the street corner. So the Fox and One is going to work in some way, shape, or form. We'll figure it out before the series is done. Let's just hope it goes 7 games so we got 4 home games to sell these bad boys. And then we can change the logo when they play the next team in the next round. And by the way, I just also want to say this. If I'm praying to the basketball gods, and I am, if you're a real Kings fan, you wanted the Golden State Warriors in this round because in order to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. But you also want somehow, some way, and I don't know how it would have to happen, you want to face the Lakers in this playoff round. Because if you can oust those 2 teams, you can rip those 2 Band-Aids off that you've been having a suck on for the last 16 years, that would be the sweetest taste in the world.
If they play the Lakers and we have another funeral, should I save a spot for you?
Oh, goodness gracious. That was my question. Whitey wanted me to come on. I said, only if we're going to talk about having a funeral for the Warriors.
Oh, absolutely.
The Warriors, I don't know. Dave made me promise not for the Warriors, but if it's the Lakers, all bets are off. We may have to, it'd be unfinished business there. Yeah,
that sounds
I'm willing
good.
to do it.
That sounds good. But guys, thanks so much for having me on. It's always a joy. I always get teary-eyed. The greatest times of my life were in Sacramento. I met my wife, had my kids, and my greatest NBA experience. So thank you for having me on. It's real sweet.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Koz. I mean, you were part of it. Like, honestly, this great fan base, and people are so excited. And you were a huge part of the foundation for that. And, you see the comments, and people love you, and they'll never forget you. And it's, of course, we won't
I'm afraid
forget
of the comments. Actually, I'm afraid because my assumption is like Chris is like, Chris must, here's the conversation, just to let everyone know. Whitey's like, hey, we got a big week. We should talk to some people who knew the playoffs. Let's have Gary St. Jean. And Chris goes, yeah, okay, I remember Gary St. Jean. He goes, let's have Jim Kozimor. And Chris is like, Jim Kozimor? Who's Jim Kozimor? Like, I can imagine half your audience was probably
so untrue.
Preschool. Yeah, it was in preschool when I was working there, for crying out loud. So
you were just there. You were just there, Koz. Come on.
No, well, that was my second stint. That was my second. I'm talking about the good years. The good years is when I was there.
Can I ask you one more? Seriously?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Again, you've got, as I say, I keep saying this, unique perspective. How would you compare these 2 really still brand new arenas? The Golden One is built, and then I always felt like, Sacramento's perspective is like, oh, then the Warriors are going to, they'll come up with their new arena. Chase Center, Golden One. How do you compare the 2 of them?
One is transformational in a number of ways. It transforms or tries to transform a downtown. It transforms the way arenas are built, where you can walk anywhere and still watch the game at all times. It is a combination indoor-outdoor arena. When you have those big, beautiful windows open up on a gorgeous day, you can hear concerts. The other one's just a building with a lot of seats. And that's not to rip the Warriors. To build something in San Francisco of the scale the Warriors are trying to do is a monumental move in its own right. So they should be rewarded and awarded for getting it done. But because the rules are so much trickier there, they couldn't do what they did in Sacramento. But that building in Sacramento was the greatest new building in the game. I'm still partial to the one in Indianapolis because it fits that city. But if you're looking at a new build, what was needed in a city that moved mountains to get it done. And I've been tweeting about this in the last week, and it's controversial, but without Kevin Johnson, you're watching the Seattle Kings or the Anaheim Kings play in the playoffs this weekend. You're not watching the Sacramento Kings. So
Koz, let me just, off the YouTube chat, just unedited, share with you. Miss you, Koz. Koz was always such a welcome and positive energy during those years. Love that dude for reals. Love Koz. Koz will always be a legend. Koz number 1. There you go. That's just the last 5 that have come in there. Yeah.
The jersey can't be wrong for those of you on the stream. The jersey can't
there
be
you go.
That's number 1.
Oh, that is
let's
so
hope
nice.
the Kings are number 1. This is our year. This is our year where we get it done. And I told you, Whitey and I were talking about this prior to the end of the regular season. I really would like to get out there for a game or 2, because how long if it goes 7, when's the last game? Because I am scheduled to come out to Northern California the next couple weeks.
I'm not entirely sure yet, but it's a ways off.
I would guess 2 weeks from Saturday if I had to guess.
But Coach, the last time we talked, I was in Pleasant Hill at Friedman's. Remember that? And
yes.
Yeah. And so JD and I are doing the show, and people are coming around. Hey, are you guys on the radio? You got on the radio? And I kid you not, this guy comes up and goes, hey, are you Whitey? And I said, yeah. And he goes, You're the one that did the funeral for the Lakers.
To this day, you can't get away from it.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be on your tombstone. Is what it'll come all full circle. It'll come full circle.
We hope that we will have the opportunity to catch up with you again. We certainly want to. We know you're busy. Thanks, Coz. We appreciate it very much. All the best to you.
You guys
Legend.
are great.
Thank you,
Thank you
Coz.
so much, Chris. It's an honor to be on with you guys. I'll be listening all week. Kings fans, please enjoy this moment. You don't know what's about to hit you. So be a part of the experience and move mountains. So good luck to all you guys, and thanks so much. And you guys are great. You guys are fabulous together, and I'm enjoying listening.
Thank you, Coz.
Thank you,
All the
Coz.
best. We'll
Appreciate
talk
it.
to
It means a lot.
We'll talk to you soon. Yeah, that's the thing. I understand what Coz is saying. Hadn't thought of that. And a lot of people have been through all of it. But for those who